Why has the Australian government declared what seems like a war against a fish? In Australia, if you catch a tilapia in certain waterways, you are not supposed to release it back into the water. Instead, authorities require people to remove it from the water and dispose of it properly. But why? Why is a fish that people love to eat in many countries considered such a serious threat in Australia? And why are people even burying these fish in the ground? Today, we're going to uncover the real story behind Australia's battle against tilapia. In Queensland, catching a tilapia can be a serious matter. If someone catches one and releases it back into the water, they could face a significant fine. At first, this may sound strange, but there is a fascinating reason behind these strict rules. Tilapia have a remarkable reproductive ability known as mouth brooding. The female can protect her eggs and newly hatched babies inside her mouth. And here's the surprising part. Even after a female tilapia dies, the babies inside her mouth may remain alive for some time. But how can a dead fish possibly help create hundreds of new fish? That's where the real story begins.
Imagine a fisherman catches a tilapia and leaves it near the water. Then, rain, flooding, or flowing water reaches the dead fish. Hundreds of tiny, living fish could potentially escape from its mouth and enter the waterway. And that's exactly why authorities want people to keep tilapia completely away from rivers, lakes, and streams after catching them. The goal is simple: stop them from reproducing and spreading. But why is tilapia considered such a dangerous fish in Australia? The answer is environmental protection. Tilapia are highly adaptable fish. Once they establish themselves in a new waterway, they can compete aggressively with native species for food, shelter, and breeding areas. They can disturb the natural balance of freshwater ecosystems and put pressure on native fish populations. In other words, a fish that looks completely ordinary can become a major environmental problem when it enters an ecosystem where it doesn't naturally belong. Think of tilapia as an unwanted invader. It doesn't just live in the water. It competes, reproduces, spreads, and can change the balance of an entire ecosystem. And this problem didn't simply appear overnight. Tilapia were introduced into parts of Australia decades ago. But once a non-native species escapes into natural waterways, controlling it can become extremely difficult.
Once an invasive species becomes established, removing every single fish can be almost impossible. That's why authorities focus heavily on preventing further spread. Recently, social media has also circulated dramatic claims that millions or even billions of tilapia are being dug up and buried across Australia. Some of those numbers may be exaggerated, but the underlying problem is real. Australian authorities and many local communities take invasive fish seriously because protecting native ecosystems is extremely important. The message is clear. If you catch an invasive tilapia, don't release it back into the water, because even one fish can potentially contribute to the next generation. And this story teaches us a much bigger lesson. A species that is valuable and popular in one country can become a serious environmental threat somewhere else. The real danger isn't always the animal itself. Sometimes the danger comes from putting the wrong species into the wrong ecosystem. So, what do you think? Should countries take such strict action to protect their native wildlife and environment? And could Australia's battle with tilapia be a warning for other countries as well? Let us know your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. 3, 2, 1. Hit that subscribe button.